Here we go with the Academic Challenge. We're rolling. We got good levels. All right. This is Academic Challenge for Tuesday, the 16th of February, 2016, our 6 p.m. show. And here we go in 3, 2, 1. Welcome to Academic Challenge. I'm Ray Gustafson, your host and moderator. Today we are featuring teams from Coloma and South Haven. WSJM's Academic Challenge features scholastic competition involving high schools from around Southwest Michigan. Academic Challenge is sponsored by Berrien Springs Public Schools, Lake Michigan College, Lakeshore Public Schools, and the Cook Nuclear Plants. We have a room full of people. Let's meet our teams. First from Coloma. Introduce yourself, say what grade you're in, and something interesting about yourself. Nice and loud so we can hear you.
Jared, senior. I love music.
Mm-hmm. What do you play?
I don't play anything. I just love to listen
You just
to
love
it.
listening to it. What kind of music do you like listening to?
Instrumental.
Instrumental? Anything in particular that you really like listening to? Any special group or artist?
Movie trailers. Thomas Bergenson.
Thomas
You ever heard of
Bergenson.
him?
Fantastic.
Hans Zimmer.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. So, all right, next up.
I'm Spencer. I'm a sophomore from Coloma.
Something interesting.
Well, I just got back from Florida, and it made me realize how cold it actually is here, being in like the 60s and 70s, down there all the time.
Right.
And it's like really cold.
There you go. Welcome back. How long were you there?
6 days.
6 days. Very cool. So,
Hi, I'm Carly. I'm a senior, and Spencer took mine. The band just got back from Florida.
mm-hmm.
The bus ride was 24 hours long, and that was not fun.
Wow. Wow. What are you going to do after high school, Carly?
I have no clue.
Have you been looking at colleges?
Yep,
Have
I'm
you?
going to college to figure it out, I guess.
Haven't figured one out yet? All right. Welcome.
All right, I'm Dax. I'm a junior, and I also like music, but I actually play instruments and
What do you
stuff.
play, Dax?
I play rhythm guitar in a band,
What-
actually.
Will you bring it in next time and play something for us?
Sure.
Okay. You guys all heard that now. So, all right. Welcome to the Academic Challenge. We'll move over to South Haven and start with
I'm Isa. I'm a senior and I play tennis.
play tennis. College plans?
MSU.
MSU. Fantastic.
I'm Josh. I'm a sophomore, and I also enjoy music.
Great.
I'm Joe. I'm a senior, and I swim.
Cool. Excellent.
I'm Alexander. I'm a senior, and I dabble in Quiz Bowl.
There you go. Joe, forgot to ask you, you have college plans?
Loyola University of Chicago or MSU.
Alexander, college plans?
I'm going to Michigan State in the fall for mechanical engineering.
Very cool. Welcome to the Academic Challenge. Well, we've got a few basic rules, like we always run down to make sure you know them. During the first and second halves, we'll announce the value of each question before it's asked. And when you press your button, please wait for me to recognize you. No consultation allowed except during the 60-second round, which is at halftime, and I'll go over that in a little bit. Again, I'm Ray Gustafson, your scorekeeper and judge. Today we have Lewis asking questions. How you doing, Lewis?
I'm good.
Welcome. Bill is on hiatus again. So hopefully he'll be back here in a couple of weeks. He's in that play thing that he's doing, you know. So he's gonna be out. I guess other commitments. But so are you ready to go, Lewis?
I'm ready to go.
Teams, are you ready to go?
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. Well, I guess we'll just settle with that one. So, all right, let's begin the Academic Challenge. Get your fingers on your buzzers and get ready to go. And Lewis, you're going to read that first question, and here we go.
All right, for 5 points, Virginia Woolf, Percy Bysshe Shelley, Carol Rosenblum, Sir William S. Gilbert, Hart Crane, and Mary Jo Kopensky. How did they all die?
Joe from South Haven.
Poison?
That's incorrect.
Coloma, 5 seconds. Anybody want to take a guess? Other than Carly from Coloma?
Illness?
Incorrect.
So, is that you buzzing in over there, Michaela? So, what was the answer she said?
They all drowned.
They all drowned? And so nobody got that one right?
All right.
I was going to say natural causes. Would that work? No?
No.
No? Okay. All right.
For
Next
10
question.
points, what philosopher was regarded by Mussolini and Hitler as the product of authoritarianism?
Joe from South Haven.
Aristotle?
That's incorrect.
We've got Jared under the buzzer from Coloma.
Karl Marx.
That's incorrect. Nietzsche.
All right.
For 15 points, considered to be the last grand old man of English letters, this novelist and poet was buried in Westminster Abbey, but his heart found its final resting place in Dorset. Who was he?
Isa from Southaven.
Charles Dickens.
Incorrect.
Coloma, anybody?
Thomas Hardy.
We need some music to play while they're thinking or something, you know? Anyway.
For 15 points, name either of the two Hebrew women who helped defeat the Canaanites in war, as recorded in Judges 4.
Boy.
The answer is Deborah or Jael.
He brought the extra tough questions.
Apparently
tonight,
so.
I think. Yeah.
All right, this is a math question.
Get your pencils ready.
For 20 points.
Ooh, at 20 points. That
Determine
means it's a
how
tough
many
one.
liters of a 7% solution should be mixed with how many liters of a 12% solution
And I'm going to have him repeat that again.
to obtain 6 liters of a 10% solution.
Okay, start over and say it again.
Determine how many liters of a 7% solution should be mixed with how many liters of a 12% solution to obtain 6 liters of a 10% solution. The answer is 2.4 liters of 7% and 3.6 liters of 12%.
That's what I had. I don't know about
Sure.
you, but okay. Let's move on.
All right, for 10 points. What was George Roy Hill's film about two turn-of-the-century outlaws?
Was it Deadpool?
It wasn't.
No, okay. Ooh, Josh right in under the buzzer from Southaven.
The Lone Ranger.
That's incorrect.
Coloma, I'll give you 5 seconds since he got in right on the buzzer if anybody wants to try. Apparently nobody wants to try.
Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid.
They're not old enough to remember that, Lewis. So let's get some Deadpool questions going here or something.
For 15 points, who was the director of the Kaiser Wilhelm Institute of Physics in Berlin from 1914 to 1933?
We have Joe from Southaven.
Einstein.
That's correct.
Whoa,
For 15 points.
Nice job.
For 5 points, what number do you get when you subtract? This is a math question.
Okay, here we go. Start over again.
I'm going to start over. For 5 points, what number do you get when you subtract 5.83192 from 9?
Say it once more.
What do you get when you subtract 5.83192 from 9?
Alexander from Southaven.
3.26908.
That's incorrect.
We have Carly from Coloma.
3.16808.
That's correct for 5 points.
Good job.
For 15 points, organ meats, beans, green leafy vegetables, and shellfish are among the best sources of what element needed by the human body?
We have Isa from Southaven.
Iron.
That's correct for 15
15
points.
points.
For 5 points, a comparison study of Irish men and their brothers who lived in the U.S. has determined that high levels of unsaturated fat and fiber in a person's diet reduces the risk of death due to what cause?
Jared from Coloma.
Heart disease.
That's correct for 5 points.
Nice job.
For 5 points, what code name was given to the project for the Allied liberation of France in 1944?
Spencer from Coloma.
Operation Overlord.
That's correct for 5 points.
Nice job.
For 10 points, name the intestinal parasite that has no mouth, yet has a head, a neck, and a body.
Joe
Tapeworm?
from Southaven. Hold on.
Tapeworm.
That's correct for 10 points. Another one for 10 points. Spain is the largest country on the Iberian Peninsula. What country comprises most of the Jutland Peninsula?
Joe from South Haven.
Sweden?
Incorrect.
Ooh, right in. Jared from Coloma, right on the bell.
Italy?
Incorrect. The answer is Denmark.
All right.
For 15 points, what do we call a solution that contains a weak acid and its salt and thereby resist changes to acidity?
Joe from South Haven.
Neutral?
Incorrect. A buffer.
A buffer. All right. About 2 minutes left, roughly.
For 20 points,
Ooh, tough one.
what was the name of Beethoven's patron to whom he dedicated his famous sonata number 21?
Music people should know this one. See, you were wondering why I was trying to ask you what you like to do.
And the answer is Waldstein. For 15 points, what Greek god freed the Cyclops from the bondage of Tyronos and in return was given thunder and lightning?
Isa from South Haven.
Zeus.
That's correct for 15 points. For 20 points, what is the world's oldest industry according to Encyclopedia Britannica?
The oldest industry.
Yes.
All right. Jared from Coloma.
Agriculture?
Incorrect.
South Haven, want to try?
Fishing. Fishing is probably the earliest form of hunting, and his men were surely hunters before they were cultivators. It's actually the oldest industry in the world.
And don't call me Shirley.
For 5 points, when a receiver is told to run a curl pattern in football, what is he expected to do?
Josh from South Haven.
It's supposed to like run and then curl in. Like, what do you? I don't understand the question.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what
Yeah.
he hooks. basically.
Run a certain number of yards
Yep.
and turn around and get the ball.
There you go. You
Yep,
got
that's
it.
correct for 5
Nice.
points.
Nice job.
For another one for 5 points, blue, green, purple, or yellow. Which one of these best describes the color mauve?
Joe from South Haven.
Purple.
That's correct for 5 points.
For 5 points. All right. Well, you know what, Lewis? That's the end of the first half.
Wow, all
Yeah,
right.
yeah, it goes by quick, doesn't it?
Yes, it does.
So the end of the first half on today's Academic Challenge. We'll be back with the score in the 60-second round. After this on WSJM, the news and talk of Michigan's Great Southwest.
Tell me about the Michigan Wolverines. What do they do to make sure they're not just a team that hits them from deep?
Well, they have great ball skills, and they put so much pressure on a defense. This is a 9th-ranked team in the country as far as made threes per game. They hit 10 of those a game. They get 45% of their points from beyond the arc. But what makes them so scary is that every guard on their team has mad handles. Rockman shakes off one of the better defensive players in the league, Rafael Davis, and gets the three-pointer. Duncan Robinson has been living in the gym. He's no longer just a spot-up shooter. And look at Zach Urban attack the paint. That's the little Kobe Bryant up and under. These defenders are in good position. But look at Derek Walton grab the foul and the bucket. Michigan puts so much pressure on a defense, especially against Ohio State. The Buckeyes have to guard the three, but they also have to stay in a stance because everyone can break a defender down for Michigan. Iowa actually had to play Michigan in a little zone just to keep those guys in front of them, and that's a dangerous proposition because they have 5 guys who can shoot the three.
Before I get to your Ohio State key to this game, Karis LeVert. He made his return after not playing since December in the last game. Only shot the ball once, did have 5 boards, only played 11 minutes. What are you expecting from him in this game?
He looked really good in limited minutes the last time out, and his basketball IQ was very high. He didn't try to do too much, so look for him to take
Okay. All right, here we go. Let's begin the 60-second round. Everybody ready? You got your throats cleared and
No.
good to go? All right, here we go with the 60-second round of the Academic Challenge in 3, 2, 1. Welcome back to the Academic Challenge on WSJM. At the end of the first half, the score is Coloma 15, South Haven 65. Now on to the 60-second round. Teams, you have 3 categories to choose from. We'll give you 60 seconds to answer as many of the 10 questions as you can, each one worth 10 points. And there will be a 20-point bonus if you answer all 10 within the time limit. You are encouraged to consult with one another, but the answers need to come from the team captains. After that minute is up, the opposing team will have a chance to answer any questions the first team could not answer. So, Coloma, you're trailing at the moment, so you have first choice of one of these 3 categories, which are literature, opera, and Tom Sawyer. So, Jared, you're the team captain. What are you guys choosing?
Literature.
Literature it is. Lewis, you have some literature-type questions there.
I do.
And let's see, is there a setup for any of those?
No, there is not.
No setup, so we're just ready to go?
We're ready to go.
Michaela, we got 60 seconds on that timer. And she is smiling and pointing and waving, just kind of like the penguins. Smile and wave, boys. Smile and wave, right? Remember that movie? Okay, Madagascar. There we go. All right, here we go. Answers need to come from Jared. Make sure you guys are consult so we can hear you. And here we go.
All right. Is an allegory a type of lyric, narrative, dramatic poetry?
Narrative.
That's incorrect. For what type of fiction is Ellery Queen famous?
Pass.
Where did Phileas Fogg begin and end his trip around the world?
London.
That's correct. Whose 1954 Pulitzer Prize-winning autobiography was titled The Spirit of St. Louis?
Charles Lindbergh.
That's correct. What epic is the sequel to the story of the Siege of Troy?
The Odyssey.
That's correct.
Nice job.
Nancy Mitford wrote a biography titled Zelda. About whom?
A princess?
Incorrect. What book by Tom Wolfe is about the Mercury astronauts?
Go ahead and answer since we got the question in. Anybody want to try it? Take a guess.
Pass.
All right.
So what did we get? 3? 3 correct. So you got 30 points. So you know what that means, South Haven. We've got 7 questions or 70 points sitting on the table waiting for you. We're going to put 60 seconds back on the clock, and we'll begin. Isa, you ready with your team? Here we go. So 60 seconds will begin as soon as he finishes reading that first question.
Is an allegory a type of lyric, narrative, or dramatic poetry?
Dramatic poetry.
Incorrect. It's a lyric. For what type of fiction is Ellery Queen famous?
Romantic fiction.
Incorrect. Mystery. Nancy Mitford wrote a biography titled Zelda. About whom?
A warrior.
Incorrect. You need to more specific.
Hercules.
Incorrect. Zelda Fitzgerald. What book by Tom Wolfe is about the Mercury astronauts?
Pass.
The Pit and the Pendulum by Edgar Allan Poe is set in what country?
England.
Incorrect.
That was
Spain. Who was Bram Stoker's most infamous character?
Dracula.
That's correct. In which Eisben's play does he deal with the problems of a woman unfulfilled by marriage?
Pass.
And that was, since that's the end then?
That's it. A Doll's House.
A Doll's House. Okay, so they picked up 1.
Yes.
All right, so 10 points. So now we switch sides, and we have 2 remaining categories. We have opera and Tom Sawyer. So, South Haven, which one would you like to choose? Isa? What do you
We're
think?
going to go for Tom Sawyer.
Tom Sawyer it is. Tom Sawyer.
I want to thank
like
you for not going for opera.
Trying to say some of those words a little challenging, Lewis. I see how it is. Any setup on this one, or is it just ready to go?
It's ready to go.
Okay, Isa, need answers from you. Make sure you guys consult with one another. 60 seconds will begin as soon as he finishes reading that first question.
Tom Sawyer is the title character of which Mark Twain novel?
The Adventures of Tom Sawyer.
That's correct. Name the fictional Missouri town in which the novel is set.
Pass.
Name Tom's aunt.
Aunt Polly.
Aunt who?
Polly.
That's correct. Name Tom's half-brother who is living with Aunt Polly.
Huck Finn.
Incorrect. Name the homeless boy who sleeps in the hogshead or on doorsteps.
Huck Finn.
That's correct. Name Tom's Bossman friend among the respectable boys in town.
Pass.
Identify the lovely little blue-eyed creature with yellow hair who is the heroine of this work.
Molly.
That's incorrect. Name the murdering half-breed who kills a doctor in the graveyard and is later found dead at the entrance of McDougal's cave.
Pass.
Name the island on the Mississippi River 3 miles below St. Petersburg.
Go ahead and answer since the bell came in.
Pass. Thank you.
Pass on that one. All right, so we got 3.
That's 3.
All right, so another 30 points for South Haven. So that means Coloma, we've got 70 points sitting on the table, or 7 questions for you. Jared, if your team ready to go, we'll put 60 seconds back on that timer. All right, let's begin, guys. We'll put 60 seconds back on the timer, and here we go.
Name the fictional Missouri town in which the novel is set.
St. Petersburg.
Yes, that's correct.
That's correct. A little bit
That's
louder,
correct.
too, Jared.
Yeah. Name Tom's half-brother who is living with Aunt Polly.
Scott.
Sydney. Name Tom's bossman friend among the respectable boys in town.
Big Boss.
Joe Harper. Identify the lovely little blue-eyed creature with yellow hair who is the heroine of this work.
Help him out.
A small female elf.
Becky Thatcher. Name the murderer and half-breed who kills a doctor in the graveyard and is later found dead at the entrance to McDougal's cave.
Shrek.
Injun Joe. Name the island on the Mississippi River 3 miles below St. Petersburg.
Narnia.
Jackson Island.
And the last one.
And the last one, the generous, attractive, and wealthy woman of Cardiff Hill who offers to give Huck Finn a home, to educate him, and to set him up in business.
Marilyn Monroe.
The Widow Douglas.
So they got 1.
They got 1.
All right. So let me guess, Jared. You've never read Tom Sawyer?
Sometimes when you know you're going to lose, you just got to have fun.
Some fun with it. So. All right. So you picked up 10 points. So I tell you what, that ends our 60-second round. Let me add up the scores, and we'll conclude the game next here on WSJM, the news and talk of Michigan's Great Southwest. Or not the introduction, what you've got to say about your school, and then I'll come over to Isa. So, all right, here we go with the second half of the Academic Challenge in 3, 2, 1. Welcome back to the Academic Challenge on WSJM. The score at the end of the 60-second round is Coloma 55 and South Haven 105. It's now time to find out what's happening at each of our participating schools. We'll head over to Coloma first and introduce Jared. Tell us all the great things going on at Coloma.
Hello from Coloma High School. We are very happy to have our band back. They returned yesterday night after vacation at Disney World. Their pre-festival concert will be held on the 24th this month, and the festival itself will be held on March 8th. Student Council is currently planning a lock-in for sometime in the spring, which everyone is looking forward to. Our robotics team is finishing up the building process on their robot. We can't wait to see how well they do this year. And our basketball team is ending their season soon. We hope they finish strong. And that's pretty much everything we have going on over here. Finally, of course, we'd like to thank our sponsors, Lake Michigan College, Berrien Springs Public Schools, Lakeshore Public Schools, Cook Nuclear Plant, Indiana Michigan Power, and WSJM for having us.
Great, fantastic. On the robotics, coming up in a week and a half, we're going to start covering the robotics competition Thursday nights at 6 o'clock. Shameless plug. Thursday nights at 6 o'clock, we'll be featuring an hour talking about robotics teams from around the area, following them all the way to the state championship, and if possible, onto the nationals, which I think are in. Is it Nashville? No, St. Louis. My bad. Yep, in St. Louis. So hopefully we'll be able to follow the teams all the way through. So a little shameless plug there for WSJM. So not this Thursday, but the Thursday after is at 6 o'clock. We'll be talking robotics. So glad that you mentioned that one. So, all right. Thank you, Jared. Appreciate that. Let's move over to South Haven. And Isa, tell us what's going on, all the fun things and great things at South Haven.
Congratulations to our own Jake Simon for being one of the 3 applicants sent by Congressman Fred Upton to the U.S. Air Force Academy. Good luck, Jake. Good luck to the varsity basketball team, which looks to gain their 14th win when they faced Allegan Friday. Go Rams. The South Haven AP U.S. History class would like to thank Senator Tanya Shoemaker, Congressman Fred Upton, and Annie Brown for all speaking to our classes this winter regarding the issues in this year's election. Good luck to the South Haven robotics team as they approach the end of their build season, and thank you to all of our sponsors.
Thank you, Isa. Very nice. Jared, back over to Coloma. You've got a couple of substitutions that came in on your team. Why don't you first say your name and what grade you're in and your shoe size.
Hello, I'm Ben, and I'm a junior, and I don't know my shoe size right now.
All right, and we have one more.
I'm Brianna, and I'm a sophomore, and I usually wear an 8 or a 9.
I'm surprised that she would admit that. So welcome to the second half of the Academic Challenge. Glad that you are here. So, Lewis, are we ready to go with the second half?
I think so.
Do you think the teams have any more energy and enthusiasm when I ask them if they're ready?
I think they have plenty.
You think so? Okay, so Lewis is ready. I'm ready. Michaela, our audio engineer, are you ready? Okay, well, she's got enthusiasm. Teams, are you ready?
Yes.
Okay, here we go. That's much better. All right, let's begin the second half of the Academic Challenge. Hands on your buzzers, and here we go.
All right, for 10 points, what war's peace talks were delayed by an argument over the shape of the table?
Joe, South Haven.
World War II?
That's incorrect.
We have Spencer from Coloma.
The Napoleonic Wars?
That's incorrect. It's the Vietnam War.
Vietnam War. That's okay.
For 15 points, the Greek prefix Kale is found in calligraphy and calisthenics. What does the prefix mean?
Jared, Coloma.
Of or relating to the hand?
Incorrect. It means beautiful.
Wonderful.
For 5 points, what bestseller by Henry Charrier describes his escape from Devil's Island?
Joe from South Haven.
Escape from Alcatraz?
That's incorrect.
Good guess, though.
The Papillon.
Or Papillion.
A Papillion.
Yeah, something like that. All right.
For 20 points.
Ooh, a tough one.
Complete this affirmation of the Apostle Paul near the end of his life. I have fought the good fight, and I have finished my course.
I hear crickets.
The answer is, I have kept the faith.
Next question.
For 5 points, in radio news, the one who calls in his reports from a helicopter is generally covering what?
Isa from South Haven.
Traffic.
That's correct for 5 points.
Good.
For 10 points, which letter is next in the following sequence? A, E, I, M, Q.
Say it one more time.
Which letter is next in the following sequence? A, E, I, M, Q.
That was almost a math question, so we'll... Brianna from Coloma.
U.
That's correct for 10 points.
Nice job.
For 5 points, this word can indicate a player in a card game, a pledge of betrothal, a crew member, a round of applause, a measure of horses, or an appendage attached to a wrist.
Hand.
Jared from Coloma.
Hand.
That's correct for 5 points.
What was the answer? Hand?
Hand.
Hand, okay. Good. I was talking while he was talking. I want to make sure the listeners heard that. So 4 or 5 points, that was? Okay, good.
For 15 points, give the common name of the first cousin to Java Man. He's credited with first using fire.
Ooh, Joe from South Haven.
Caveman?
That's incorrect.
Coloma, I'll give you 5 seconds since you got in. Nobody.
It's Pecking Man or Peking Man. For 20 points, during the Civil War, Abraham Lincoln changed commanders of the Army of the Potomac 5 times. Name 4 of the 5 generals or commanders of that army, and I'll tell you that Grant was not one of them.
Time's up. That was a weird bell sound.
You ready?
Okay.
All right.
What was the answer on
The
that
answer is McDowell,
Okay.
McClellan, Hooker, Burnside, and Meade.
I should have got meter.
All right. Next one.
For 10 points, which of these generals did Lincoln replace because, as Lincoln said, he had the slows?
We have Spencer from Coloma.
McClellan.
That's correct for 10 points.
Nice job.
For 10 points, that precious commodity, water, evaporates, precipitates, and returns to the ocean to be evaporated again. What is the scientific name for this process?
Isa from South Haven.
The water cycle.
That's incorrect. The hydrologic cycle.
All right.
For 5 points, is the federal food stamp program administered by the Department of Commerce, the Department of Health and Human Services, or the Department of Agriculture?
Isa from South Haven.
Department of Agriculture.
That's correct for 5 points.
Nice job.
For 10 points, England had 4 kings named William. Which one was the Prince of Orange?
Joe from South Haven.
William II?
That's incorrect.
Spencer from Coloma.
William III.
That's correct for 10 points.
Nice job.
I almost you got it right.
For 10 points, John Dewey was an educator and philosopher. In what field did Melville Dewey distinguish himself?
Joe from South Haven.
Literature?
Incorrect. Library sciences.
Oh, she said librarian. I said librarian.
About 2 minutes left.
For 5 points, Frank Sinatra called it my kind of town. It's the largest city on the Great Lakes, and the 1968...
Joe from South Haven.
Chicago?
That's correct for 5 points.
Nice job.
For 10 points, in which section of a book would you expect to find the names of those who worked with the author on the book?
Joe, South Haven.
Glossary? Or the never mind.
Incorrect.
Okay. We have Spencer from Coloma.
Acknowledgements.
That's correct for 10 points.
Nice job.
For 5 points, a boy has a long cardboard strip. This is a math question.
Okay. A boy has a long cardboard strip.
A boy has a long cardboard strip, 1 inch wide and 48 inches long. It is marked at 1-inch intervals so that he can cut off a series of square inches. If the boy takes 1 second for each cut, how long will it take to cut the 48 square inches?
Alexander, South Haven.
48 seconds.
Incorrect.
Jared from Coloma.
47 seconds.
That's correct for 5 points.
5 points. Nice.
For 15 points, a group of essays described imaginary table talk at a Boston boarding house was published in 1858, including were a number of authors' poems, such as Deacon's Masterpiece, The Chambered Nautilus and Contentment, and The Living Temple. What was the title of the publication?
Time's up.
The Autocrat of the Breakfast Table by Oliver Wendell Holmes.
All right.
For 10 points, pick out the autonym of salutatory. Innocuous, harmful, deplorable, salubrious, and rigid.
Joe from South Haven.
Deplorable?
That's incorrect. Harmful.
You know what, Lewis?
We're done.
That's it. That does it. That's the end of today's academic challenge match. We'll tabulate the scores and announce the winners after this on WSJM, the news and talk of Michigan's Great Southwest.
He's got so much momentum going in Ann Arbor. You got a team in Iowa City who went to the Rose Bowl. You have the reigning Big Ten champions in Michigan State. And yet is Ohio State the favorite to win the
Just a second. Quiet for just a second, please. All right, here we go. Let's do the wrap-up here in 3, 2, 1. We're back on WSJM's Academic Challenge to announce today's winner and thank our sponsors. And the winners, by a score of 105 to 120, the team from South Haven. Congratulations to both teams. And thank you all for joining us on WSJM's Academic Challenge, brought to you by the Lakeshore Public Schools, the Lake Michigan College, Berrien Springs Public Schools, and the Cook Nuclear Plant. Join us again next week at the same time as New Buffalo and Lakeshore go head-to-head on Academic Challenge.
Urban Meyer's continually recruited. There's probably some guys that were Andy Thurman and Mike Norris. Attention, Fox Sports Daybreak.